菜根谭。
Tending the roots of wisdom.
65. 心地需要光明，念头不可暗昧。
65. The heart must be bright, and thoughts should not be obscure.
菜根谭原文：心体光明，暗室中有青天；念头暗昧，白日下有厉鬼。
白话文注解：一个人的心地如光明磊落，即使立身在黑暗世界，也能与日争辉。一个人如果怀着邪恶不端之念，即使在光天化日之下，也像个幽灵魔鬼。
65-1. A person with a pure and honest heart shines brightly, capable of radiating light even in a dark world. On the other hand, an individual harboring wicked and impure intentions appears as if surrounded by darkness, even in broad daylight. Translated by Bayandefu.
65-2. If your heart is bright, then even in a dark chamber there is blue sky. If your thoughts are gloomy, then even in broad daylight cruel demons appear. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 65-3. If a man's thoughts are bright and clear, then even if he is in a dark place his heart will be as shiny as daylight. But if his thoughts are sordid, then even if he walks in the sunshine his heart will be as though harboring demons. Translated by Paul White.
65-4. A person with a pure and upright heart shines brightly, even when standing in a dark world. They can compete with the radiance of the sun. On the contrary, a person harboring wicked and unscrupulous thoughts appears like a ghost or demon, even in broad daylight. Translated by Wen Lin.
66. 勿羡贵贤，勿忧饥饿。
66. Do not envy wealth and fame. Do not worry about hunger.
菜根谭原文：人之名位为乐，不知无名无位之乐为最真；人之饥寒为忧，不知不饥不寒之忧更为甚。
白话文注解：一般人都只知道名誉地位是人生的一大乐事，却不知没有名声、没有官位才是最为真切的人生乐趣。一般人都只知道饥饿跟寒冷是最难熬的事，却不知有钱有势的人患得患失的精神折磨更加痛苦。
66-1. Most people only recognize fame and status as significant sources of joy in life. Yet they fail to realize that true contentment lies in living without reputation and without official positions. While people commonly perceive hunger and cold as the most difficult hardships, they often overlook the fact that the mental torment of constant worries and fears experienced by the wealthy and powerful can be even more distressing. Translated by Bayandefu.
66-2. People know that name and position are enjoyable, they don't know that no name and no position are truly most enjoyable. People know that hunger and cold are hardships, they don't know that worrying about hardship and midwinter cold is far worse. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff.
66-3. People know that fame and rank make men happy. But they do not know that the happiest men are those without fame and rank. People know that hunger and cold are what men worry about. But they do not know that there are other worries that could be worse. Translated by Paul White.
66-4. Most people only understand that fame and status are major pleasures in life. But they fail to realize that the truest joy lies in having neither fame nor official positions. Similarly, many are aware that hunger and cold are difficult to endure. But they may not recognize that the mental torment of the rich and powerful, grappling with anxieties and uncertainties, is even more painful. Translated by Wen Lin.
67. 因恶恶大，显善善小。
67. The hidden evils are grand, the evident charities are small.
菜根谭原文：为恶而为人知，恶中有善路；为善而及人知，善处即是恶根。
白话文注解：一个人做了坏事而害怕被人知道，可见他虽然邪恶，但还留有一线良知。一个人做了善事而唯恐天下人不知，那么他行善的同时也种下了恶根。
67-1. When a person does something wrong and fears being discovered, It indicates that despite their wrongdoing, a trace of conscience remains within them. If a man does a good deed and is anxious for others to know about it, it shows that in the midst of his benevolence lurks a tendency to evil. Translated by Biandefu.
67-2, you may fear that people will know of your wrongdoing. That people might know is in fact conducive to good conduct. You may hope that people will know of your good conduct. Good conduct can thus be the root of wrongdoing. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 67-3, if a man does a bad thing and fears that others will find out, it shows that, despite his wickedness, he still has a conscience. If a man does a good deed and is anxious for others to know about it, it shows that in the midst of his benevolence lurks a tendency to evil. Translated by Paul White.
67-4. If a person does something wrong and fears it being known, it shows that, despite being evil, they still retain a shred of conscience. On the other hand, if someone performs a good deed but is anxious for the whole world to know, they sow the seeds of evil even while doing good. Translated by Wen Lin.
68. 君子居安思危，天意无用其计。
68. If a noble person can live in peace while preparing for danger, even the heavens have no strategies to employ.
菜根谭原文：天之积坚不测，易而深，深而易，皆是拨弄英雄，颠倒豪杰处。君子是逆来顺受，居安思危，天意无所用其计量矣。
白话文注解：上天的奥秘变幻莫测，有时使人先陷于窘境而后再春风得意，有时先让人一番得意而后再受挫折，这都是上天对天下英雄豪杰的考验。因此，有才德的君子，当不如意时要适应环境，遇到逆横事件也一笑置之，在平安时要想到危难，这样就连上天也无法施展他捉弄人的巧计了。
68-1. The mysteries of heaven are ever-changing and unpredictable. At times, they lead individuals into difficult situations before granting them success, and at other times, they allow for an initial taste of triumph only to be followed by setbacks. These are all tests that heaven presents to the heroes and stalwarts of the world. Therefore, individuals of virtue and talent should adapt to adversity when things don't go their way, meet challenges with a smile, and consider potential dangers during peaceful times. In doing so, even the heavens will find it difficult to employ their clever tricks of playing with people. Translated by Biandefu.
68-2, the workings of heaven are inscrutable and fathomless, now liberating, now repressing, disconcerting heroes and upsetting great men. Yet the noble person comes forth steadily and turns as things come along, and is not complacent in times of peace. Even heaven cannot deal with such talent. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 68-3. The force that binds the universe is unpredictable. Sometimes it makes man struggle against adversity, and sometimes it grants him favorable circumstances. This shows that heaven has the faculty of making or breaking heroes and other outstanding men. When a man of noble character meets a temporary setback, he exercises patience. When everything seems to be smooth sailing, he keeps in mind the possible approach of adversity. In this way, even the Lord of Heaven cannot manipulate him. Translated by Paul White.
68-4. The mysteries of heaven are ever-changing. Sometimes it places people in adversity before granting them success, and at other times, it allows individuals to taste success before subjecting them to setbacks. All of these are tests from heaven for the heroes of the world. Therefore, a virtuous gentleman, when things are not going well, should adapt to the situation, and when facing adverse events, should smile at them. During peaceful times, one should be mindful of potential dangers. In this way, even heaven cannot employ its tricks to deceive such a person. Translated by Wen Lin.
69. 中和为福，偏激为灾。
69. Harmony brings fortune. Extremism brings calamity.
菜根谭原文： 躁性者火炽，遇物则焚；寡恩者冰清，逢物必杀。凝滞固执者，如死水腐木，生机已绝，据难建功业而言福祉。
白话文注解：性情急躁的人，他的一言一行都如烈火一般炽热，所有与他接触的人都会被焚烧。一个刻薄寡恩的人，他的一言一行如冰雪一般冷酷，无论何人碰到他都要遭到残害。一个头脑顽固而刻板的人，既像一潭死水，也像一段朽木，死气沉沉，毫无生机。这些人都难以建功立业，造福人类。
69-1. A person with an impatient disposition exudes words and actions as scorching as a blazing fire, leaving all those who come into contact with them scorched. An individual who is unkind and ungrateful carries themselves with an icy demeanor, capable of inflicting harm on anyone who crosses their path. Someone with a stubborn and rigid mind resembles stagnant water or decaying wood, devoid of vitality and submerged in lifelessness. Such individuals find it difficult to make significant contributions, establish accomplishments, and bring benefits to humanity. Translated by Bayandefu.
69-2. People with hot blazing tempers set fire to everything. Unsociable people with icy tempers invariably destroy everything. Stiff, obstinate people are like stagnant water or decayed trees. With their vital faculties diminished in such ways, it is difficult to speak with such people about building achievements for widespread welfare. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 69-3. An irascible person is like a raging fire, whatever he encounters he wants to burn it up. A mean person is as cold as ice, whatever he meets he wants to harm. A stiff and stubborn person is like stagnant water or rotten wood, he has lost all vitality. No matter what they do, such people find success and happiness elusive. Translated by Paul White.
69-4. A person with an impatient temperament expresses themselves like a scorching fire, and everyone who comes into contact with them is likely to be burned. Someone who is mean-spirited and ungrateful behaves as cold and ruthless as ice and snow, causing harm to anyone they encounter. An individual with a stubborn and rigid mind is akin to stagnant water or decaying wood, lacking vitality and creativity. Such individuals find it challenging to achieve great accomplishments and contribute to the well-being of humanity. Translated by Wen Lin.
70. 多喜养福，去杀远祸。
70. Embrace joy to nurture blessings. Refrain from killing to distance misfortune.
菜根谭原文：福不可矫，养喜神以为兆福之本而已；祸不可避，去杀机以为远祸之方而已。
白话文注解：幸福不可强求，能做到经常保持愉快的心情，才是取得幸福的根本。灾祸难以避免，能消除怨恨他人的念头，是远离灾祸的法宝。
70-1. Happiness cannot be forced. The key to achieving it lies in consistently maintaining a joyful mindset. Calamities are often unavoidable, and the treasure to ward off disaster is the ability to eliminate thoughts of resentment towards others. Translated by Bayandefu.
70-2. Don't try to pray for happiness. Cultivate the mind of joy as the basis of happiness, and there you are. Don't try to evade misfortune. Avoid wanting to harm others and you'll keep misfortune at bay. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 70-3. Man cannot seize happiness, it is only by preserving a happy frame of mind that the essence of happiness can be summoned. Man cannot flee disaster, it is only by eradicating all thoughts of harming others that evils can be kept at bay. Translated by Paul White.
70-4. Happiness cannot be forced, and the key to achieving happiness lies in maintaining a cheerful disposition regularly. Calamities are unavoidable, and the ability to eliminate thoughts of resentment towards others is a powerful tool to distance oneself from disaster. Translated by Wen Lin.
71. 谨言慎行，君子之道。
71. Speak and act with caution. This is the way of a true gentleman.
菜根谭原文，10语9中未必称奇，1语不中则牵由骈集，10谋9成未必归功，1谋不成则恣意夜兴。君子所以宁默无躁，守拙无角。
白话文注解：即使10句话说对9句，也未必有人称赞你。可你若说错1句话，就会立刻招来责骂声一片。即使10次谋略9次成功，也未必有人会奖赏你。可只要有1次谋划失败，各种责难非议就会蜂拥而至。所以，一个有智慧、有修养的人，宁可保持沉默寡言，绝不轻举妄动，尤其在做事方面，宁可显得笨拙一些，不能锋芒毕露。
71-1. Even if you're right 9 out of 10 times, it's not certain that anyone will praise you. Yet, if you say one wrong thing, you'll immediately attract a chorus of criticism. Even if you succeed 9 out of 10 times in your plans, there's no guarantee of recognition. However, if one of your strategies fails, various blame and censure will converge upon you. That's why a wise and cultivated individual would rather remain silent and reserved, refraining from hasty actions. Especially in their endeavors, they'd rather appear slightly awkward, refraining from showcasing their brilliance. Translated by Bayandefu.
71-2. If you make 10 pronouncements and hit the mark 9 times, you certainly cannot yet expect praise. When one of your pronouncements does not hit the mark, you line up a row of errors. If you take up 10 projects and 9 of them are productive, this certainly is not cause for acknowledgement. With the one of your projects that is not productive, noisy unfavorable criticism breaks out and accumulates in intensity. As a noble person, you will be reticent rather than hasty, artless rather than clever. Translated by Robert Aitken and Daniel W. Wyckoff. 71-3. If out of 10 utterances, 9 are correct, others will not necessarily call you a genius. They will, however, throw all the blame on you for the one utterance that proved incorrect. If you make 10 plans and 9 of them succeed, others will not necessarily praise you for your acumen. They will, however, excoriate you for the one plan that went wrong. Therefore, a real gentleman preserves his silence and eschews rash action, and prefers to seem stupid rather than wise. Translated by Paul White.
71-4. Even if you speak correctly in 9 out of 10 sentences, there is no guarantee that people will praise you. However, if you say one thing wrong, you may immediately attract criticism. Similarly, even if you succeed in planning 9 out of 10 times, there's no assurance of recognition. However, if you fail in one plan, various criticisms and accusations will come pouring in. Therefore, a wise and cultured person would prefer to remain silent, avoiding unnecessary actions. Especially in their actions, it's better to appear clumsy and not reveal their full capabilities. Translated by Wen Lin.
72. 杀气含薄，和气服厚。
72. Aura of hostility is chilling, while a harmonious demeanor brings abundant blessings.
菜根谭原文：天地之气，暖则生，寒则杀。故性气清冷者，受享益凉薄；为和气热心之人，其福益厚，其泽也长。
白话文注解：大自然有4季气候的变化，春夏温暖万物便生机勃发，秋冬寒凉则万物凋零，丧失生机。一个性情高傲冷漠的人，无人敢接近，他所能得到的也就只能是冷漠而淡薄的人情。只有那些性情温和、热心助人的人，他所获得的福报不但丰富，而且源远流长。
72-1. Nature undergoes the changing cycles of 4 seasons, with warmth and vitality flourishing during spring and summer, while coldness and decline mark the fall and winter. Similarly, a person with a proud and aloof disposition is unapproachable, and what they receive in return is only indifference and thin human connection. Only those who are gentle in nature and eager to assist others receive not only abundant blessings but also lasting and profound connections. Translated by Bayandefu.
72-2, when the nature of heaven and earth is warm, life flourishes. When it is cold, life is killed. Thus, with a cold attitude you will in turn be received coolly and indifferently. With a warm attitude your blessings will be ample and your benefits will be long-lasting. Translated by Robert Aitken Daniel W. Wyckoff. 72-3, when the essence which pervades nature is warm it promotes the growth of the myriad things. When it is cold it tends to destroy the vitality of the myriad things. Therefore, when a man is cold in nature he receives little in the way of enjoyment. On the other hand, when a man is warm-hearted, he has lots of happiness and is the beneficiary of a constant stream of kindness. Translated by Paul White.
72-4. Nature undergoes the changing seasons, with the warmth of spring and summer fostering vibrant life, while the cold of autumn and winter leads to withering and loss of vitality. Similarly, a person with a proud and indifferent nature makes others hesitant to approach, and the only response they may receive is cold and indifferent. Only those with a gentle and warm-hearted nature, willing to help others, not only enjoy abundant blessings but also create a lasting and profound legacy. Translated by Wen Lin.